And once there was a dream.
And then we took it away. Let's take you on a little adventure on the history of this roof.
This was the beginning of what we thought would be a great little house on a hill. Or a hill.
In a hill.
The hill.
It was a hill.
So, as we've kind of discussed more and more, as this house is no longer the hill, it's more of just a house. A regular house with a incredibly strong structure.
Oh yeah, because you only had that structure for the dirt that was going to go
dirt.
on top. But
Yes.
I forgot that. So, all the I-beams
are for the purpose of a 20-ton roof.
It should have held several cows and possibly at least 2 elephants. But now it holds air.
Now it is an over-engineered, not monstrosity, but over-engineered
Piece of magic.
to say the least. And so, as you kind of see through here, I mean, we're kind of looking at just the base structure of what we started with for where we could begin, and the idea of putting dirt on top of this.
So, this roof has many layers.
And those beginning layers are roof felt, roof layment, and plastic.
And it took a lot of work to get those things up there.
How you doing, Ben?
Pretty good. Took way too long to do that. But it's okay. It's only gonna hurt later tonight. We have our first layer down and our second layer down of foam and plastic, and it looks very nice. Unfortunately, it does not stay that way.
In a previous video, we showed us laying down tarp, putting down the styrofoam, laying down another tarp, taping everything, and to say the least, our finished project that finished part of the project, it doesn't look like that anymore. The wind tore it up. It's torn it up probably twice, and I don't think we've shown us fixing it, but when we did fix it, we tried to put heavy things on top of it, hoping that the wind won't be such a beast and rip it from the roof. The roof.
So then we got to the good part. You know, the part where we're almost there and there's plastic. Just kidding, Ben's gonna explain.
Well, you're not wrong. It is a pond liner that is just rubberized plastic.
Question, isn't all plastic kind of rubber?
No.
Oh.
So rubberized plastic helps fight UV, which is sun.
No, but the thing is that this was the last layer before we actually got to the dirt that would really hold this whole piece of plastic down to where it should be. You know, we get the hills, we put the dirt, and everything would be fine. At least that's what we thought. You know?
Ends with a good face.
This area was hit by last night's severe thunderstorm. This footage was shot by Red River Drone Services just hours ago.
There has not been any confirmed tornado. It was the microburst.
It's a severe weather phenomenon. It's compared to a tornado in terms of damage.
Today is the day after the storm, essentially. Wichita Falls had a good, what they call microburst. It was like a little tornado. Things being taught. There goes our roof. There goes our roof. There goes our roof. I mean, our wrapping stayed on, so that's good.
And the storm was the straw that broke the camel's back.
The camel was bad.
Yes. I was over this roof 1,000 degrees.
I mean, you were the only one I was over the roof. I'm sure my parents were over this roof. Your parents was over this roof. Your dad was definitely over this roof. I'm pretty sure.
And
our
what you are seeing
viewers
here, well,
are
actually, hold
over
on.
this
First, though,
roof.
the one thing you are seeing here is that we did try. All these pieces of tape were
rocks.
from us trying one last desperate time to
Save it. But there was no salvation.
And instead it just leaked worse, it seemed.
Oh yeah, let's say that, throughout this whole process, it's been very leaky. It's been very leaky. And we still tried, mate. But we gave up and we said, you know what? Rubber roof it. Because we also had other options that it was the most economical option for my parents at that time.
And for what we had already put down.
Yeah.
We were ready for a rubber roof, essentially.
Yeah. It made the most sense. And so we had, from the storm, we had pieces of foam fall off or be ripped off. And so we replaced it and we pretty much stretch it back. And that was a fun adventure because they said, we talked to rubber roof experts and they said, if you don't have it stretched out pretty good, it's pretty much going to wrinkle up and pop off. And so we put a lot of effort into that. And then we did it. And it was a very hopeful moment. I mean, we felt really nice and airy.
It looked very beautiful.
It looked great. It was shiny. Yeah.
And then that didn't last.
It started peeling.
And leaking.
And it was just bad. So we just
moved on.
We moved on and we said,
the 5th rendition.
Metal roof it.
So what we did from there is we framed it, not traditionally, but pole barn style, if anybody does know what that means.
Do we know what that means?
I do, but I don't know if you do, I guess.
I don't know. Ben's having this. Let me just expose Ben for a second. This was very hard for him. And there was a lot of research that had to go into this. Because Ben told me, quote unquote, I am not a roofing guy. Quote.
This is entirely true. This was the first and the only roof I will ever touch because roofing is dumb.
The roofing, in everything that we've learned throughout this whole process, that certain trades are magical. There might as well be leprechauns because what they do is something beyond our minds.
Okay, it's not beyond my mind. It just takes a lot of stupid work.
It's beyond your mind. The capacity of your brain cannot withstand what the roofers have.
Yes, because it's a level of simplistic
they probably
beauty.
Use trigonometry.
No.
Okay.
They use a speed square. And it takes 5 seconds to do.
Yeah, right.
But
it takes us 32 years.
Not even that. It takes people, time, and energy. And I have none of those things but myself. So, we went with the simplest option that there is, and that is the pole barn roof, which is you have your trusses, your joists, and then you have a piece of what normally people put up is 1x or 2x2. And instead, we just went with the 2x4, so then that way you couldn't mess it up. As in, I couldn't.
It passed what it's supposed to, and that's what's important.
Yes.
The people who say yes, that this is good enough and safe, said okay. And that was our main goal. But, it was still hard. As you can see, Ben is pulling up these giant sheets of metal that you have to cut in the first place. Well, this one isn't cut.
No.
But it was hard.
Still dragging up a 27-foot long sheet
by
myself.
Yeah.
On 4-foot spacers.
Yeah. And it was also covered by plastic because we had rain like nobody's business.
Every other day.
That time. And we were like, we're not leaking no more. We were fed up. Everybody is fed up. And we're not leaking. And so we spent a whole 2 days just putting this plastic on that later just held the water like buckets. The buckets of water wasn't even really the worst part of the water on the roof. It was actually going up there to work, and the rest of this video is the reason why I never worked on it again.
You know, this whole budget thing is kind of becoming ghetto. Because I'm on top of a roof. And I mean, but you know, sometimes I think, Kayla, how did we get into this situation? And you know, you've reached a certain level of adultness when you can pinpoint everything that you've done to lead you to where you are now. And I feel like when you reach that point, you've leveled up as a human, but then you also like are more aware of like your mistakes, things you've done, things you do, your patterns. And as helpful that it is, it's also kind of like sad. Did anybody tell you how hard it is to screw into a metal roof? Nobody told me. So you're supposed to hold this little white piece. You know, you hold it and you start off slow. And then as you're holding it, okay, start off. Put it there. Slowly putting pressure. I was doing great until you guys showed up. Just scooting. Scooting my tootin'. Okay, next spot.